guys, welcome to the Comic Fanatix. I'm your host John Tonelli, and in today's video we are going to be doing a review with spoilers, guys, of Justice League The Darkseid War Part 1, guys. I just got this comic book and I thought it was awesome and I was dying to review it with you guys. But before we start, guys, please leave a like, please subscribe, and even share this video if you like Darkseid as much as me, guys. So any further ado, guys, let's actually get into this video. The comic starts off with Mr. Miracle's origins, and if you don't know who he is, I'll basically explain his origins to you guys. He's a superhero, and he's like an acrobat. And his origin basically says how two planets were at war, New Genesis and Apocalypse. And what happened was, Metron, who was the god of knowledge, came to the leader of New Genesis, who is the High Father, and basically explains to the High Father the only way to create peace with Darkseid and Apocalypse is that you exchange sons with Darkseid. And the High Father didn't like that, but he said it was the only way to the High Father, and the High Father said okay. And the plan didn't work because Darkseid, as soon as he got his son, he threw him into the slave camps. And the only reason Mr. Miracle is called Mr. Miracle is because it was a miracle how he even survived the slave camps, guys. And no one has ever done that, and he actually survived the slave camps and was able to escape. And so after they explained Mr. Miracle's origins, what happened is the Justice League, except for Superman, actually investigate a crime. And it was basically the murder of Marina Black. And remember that name, guys, because her name will come up later. But it turns out the person who murdered Marina Black were two people who were Apocalypse assassins, guys. Which was really cool in general, I thought. But while this is also happening, Superman and Lex Luthor are actually trying to find a cure to cancer. And also, while this is happening, Mr. Miracle actually tries to find intel on Darkseid, on his weaknesses and stuff, so he can actually kill Darkseid himself. But actually finds out there's going to be a huge war coming with Darkseid against this unknown being he doesn't know, and he has to warn someone, and he actually has to warn the Justice League. And what happens is, Darkseid finds him, and what happens is, Mr. Miracle actually tries to defend himself against Darkseid, but fails and almost actually dies against him. But luckily, he had a boombox with him, which can teleport him anywhere he wants, and he was able to survive Darkseid's onslaught against him. So, after that, while the Justice League are still investigating the crime, someone actually boom tubes out of the Flash's mouth. And it's not Mr. Miracle, guys. It's Grail, the daughter of Darkseid, guys. And, guys, she's dressed in all of Darkseid's clothes. She's almost like a soldier to Darkseid. And what happens is, she takes on the Justice League and is actually beating the shit out of everyone. Because Superman's not there, and Wonder Woman and Batman actually realize we need Superman's help. And what happens is, the Justice League actually informs Superman about this, but Lana Luthor overhears. And what happens is, she actually shoots Lex Luthor 2 times in the chest, and actually teleports both Superman and Lex Luthor to Apocalypse, guys. And basically, after this, there was like so much stuff going on. I was like, wow, holy shit. But when this came up, it was awesome because Grail actually summons the Anti-Monitor, guys. If you don't know who the Anti-Monitor is, I'll actually give a brief run-through of him. What happens is the Anti-Monitor is basically Darkseid from Earth 3, like the crime syndicate is the Justice League from Earth 3. And he basically demolished the crime syndicate, the Anti-Monitor. And he came to our Earth because he wanted to find someone worthy of his fighting. And he found Darkseid, so he wanted to fight him. And while the Justice League are actually trying to attempt to stop the Anti-Monitor, Mr. Miracle actually boom tubes to a woman named Marina Black. And I told you to remember this name because she's important. Because she is the mother of Grail and the wife of Darkseid. And she tells Mr. Miracle that she was actually planning a war to kill Darkseid, guys. And I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it, this is actually just a plan. It's not even a war. It was just a plan to kill Darkseid. And so when it goes back to the Justice League trying to attempt to fight the Anti-Monitor, but they really can't do anything because without Superman, they really can't do anything because Superman's literally like a powerhouse. And before they actually die, the Justice League, Metron, the God of Knowledge, comes to save the Justice League, and he actually teleports them to his safe haven. And so what happens is, after he teleports them to his safe haven, it goes back to Marina Black and Mr. Miracle. And what happens is Marina Black actually explains the plan to kill Darkseid to Mr. Miracle, but Mr. Miracle disapproves to this plan and actually doesn't like it. And what happens is Marina Black actually tries to kill Mr. Miracle, but Boom Tube's away before she actually can. Which was lucky because she was actually at kill point to Mr. Miracle. And so when they actually teleport to the safe haven, the Justice League wants to know who basically the Anti-Monitor is, and Metron tells them, I don't know. So what happens is Wonder Woman actually throws her lasso of truth on him, and what happens is he tells him, I don't know, but remove the chair from me and you will know. And Batman actually removes him off of the chair, and what happens is Batman takes his place and turns into the God of Knowledge. And right after he actually turns into the God of Knowledge, Mr. Miracle actually comes to the Justice League and actually warns them about this huge war coming. And they basically already knew this because they actually ran into the Anti-Monitor before. And what happens next is when they're back on Apokolips, right after the Superman actually saves Lex Luthor from the 2 gunshots, the slaves of Apokolips actually try to kill Superman because there's a bounty on his head for whoever kills Superman is actually freed from the slave camps. But this is a little easier for the slaves because there's no sunlight on Apokolips, so Superman doesn't have his powers. And later on during the comic book, because there's not much going on, they're just talking. Later on in the comic book, Grail summons Darkseid, and Darkseid comes, and then the war begins against the Anti-Monitor and Darkseid, guys. And right, we're getting to the end of the comic, and what happens next is Lex and Superman are about to reach a dead end, but what happens is they're about to almost die, and what happens is Lex Luthor says, you gotta trust me, Superman, and he says, okay. And Superman actually gets dropped into the fire pits of Apokolips, and Lex thinks it will gain his powers back, but actually it makes him even more powerful, more unstable, and he actually turns on Lex Luthor and turns into the God of Strength. 2 gods from the Justice League now. But while just Darkseid and basically the Anti-Monitor are fighting it out, what happens is Green Lantern and Batman search for a way to kill the Anti-Monitor, and while the Anti-Monitor and Darkseid are actually killing each other, Darkseid summons the Black Racer, and the Darkseid had the Anti-Monitor at death point, but Darkseid didn't know his actual weakness, and what happened was the Anti-Monitor turned the Flash into the Black Racer and made the Flash kill Darkseid, guys. And that is it. Ends right there when Darkseid actually dies. And that was the comic book. But guys, hope you enjoyed this video. See you guys later, and peace out.